Welcome back to the 6 p.m. turn, Longstreet attack on Emmitsburg Road, from Revolution Games, Herman Littman, designer. So we're up to the 6 p.m. turn. I filled you in before that we're starting to play this and started getting really interesting and really good quickly. So I've actually recorded the logs on Vassal here, and now with the 6 p.m. turn, we'll see the action and see it up close. So here we are, 6 p.m. That's where we are. I've already got the chits in the cup, so I won't bore you with that little piece, but we'll start right into the artillery, which gets very interesting very quickly here. So here we go with that. So first off, Clark over here, U.S. artillery, they get the first turn. Taking a shot over here at the Confederate artillery. It's going to be 6 minus 2 strength points, and that's going to get them a 4 strength points, and they roll a 45, which is actually going to be a routine hit, and roll a 1, 2, and that's a miss. So even though they hit, the fire is ineffective on the artillery over there. So then we swing over the Confederates, and we're going to start over here, take a look at having Gilbert and Moody taking a shot up here to try to clear the rest of the Peach Orchard section over here. But this line of sight is going to be blocked by 2 peach orchards here and here. Now I know it's going uphill or up a elevation here, but I counted that as being 2, which may or may not be, but that's the way I count it. So that's not going to happen there. So now we're going to look at another one here. We're going to go over to Patterson, which is down here. And he's going to take a shot at Seeley's artillery to try to break them up first. Trying to go after the artillery first to cut out the long-range shots before we send in the troops. So he's going to take a shot, 6 SPs. They roll 64. That's going to be a hit. And it's going to be a tough hit. And they roll 44, which is actually going to be a depletion morale hit 2. So that means Seeley's going to flip, take a morale hit that's going to cause his cohesion to take a hit, and they're going to have to retreat 2. So once again, the Confederate artillery doing their, being very effective in doing what they need to do, push the Union artillery back. That's another battery that's been pushed back by the Confederates. Next, we're going to move over to Ames over here. He was sitting up here in the peach orchard. He's actually going to move back behind the rise to get out of that artillery fire because they're firing too good for him, and set up kind of a reverse slope defense over there. So now we've got Parker's artillery. That's these guys over here. They're going to take a shot at Clark up here. Clark and Buckland over here that is holding on to the edge of the ridge. Now they can fire through the orchard right here because that's only 1 orchard hex versus the 2 that we saw before. And they're going to be 8 down a couple for being through an orchard and in an orchard. They roll a 55 on the 4 column. It's a routine hit. Roll a 52. That's going to be a hit on Clark, and he's actually going to deplete. They've knocked out some more guns, some more effective Confederate artillery fire. Really interesting to see this. And they get marked. So next, Buckland has had enough of this because he's already shaken. And that could do him in if he gets hit. So he's going to retreat back 1 hex and get into the reverse slope there as well. Clark will probably do that next term if he survives. So then we move along here. We've got Gilbert's artillery. These 2 units, Gilbert and Moody, that we tried before, they're going to take a shot at those skirmishers, Burling's New Jerseyans right there. Take a shot over there at them. Now it's going to be through orchard, so it's down to 6-7. Rolls a 42. They're also skirmish, which I forgot, so that's going to still get them a routine hit. And they roll a 46, which is going to be a morale hit, retreat 2. So they fall back up to the Emmitsburg Road. So Confederate artillery is doing their job here very effectively in terms of knocking out or pushing back the Union troops. That's going to make it much easier for Barksdale, and hopefully Wolford will get moving this turn as well. So now we got Turnbull over here. He's going to take a shot down here at Wilcox, I believe. Yep, Wilcox, 11th Alabama. He's a 6 SP, rolls a 45, which gets him a routine hit, and a 61. That's going to be some damage. That's a depletion on the 11th Alabama, so they're reduced. And now that's Turnbull's taking his shot. Next, we've got Jordan and Woolfolk over here. They're actually going to move to reposition to get a better location. And they're going to swing over to Staub's farm, right over here, and position so they can shoot up here at the units on the Emmitsburg Road right over there. So they're all set. So next, we're going to get Thomas. He's over here. He's actually going to continue moving because he's going to be some reinforcements over here somewhere around the Peach Orchard. He's going to station himself right here behind Peach Orchard, take a reverse slope, pretty much giving up the front slope of the Peach Orchard to the advancing Confederates and setting up a reverse slope over here. We still have Graham's units and Brewster over here that are going to be attacked as well. So Thomas is set. Next, we've got Moody for the Confederates. Moody and Carlton. He's going to move up a little bit to the edge of that little rise so we can see over there for the next turn to shoot. Then we've got Sheldon's artillery for the Union. They're going to move up and move over to Rogers Farm and position over here for defense. Because eventually, remember, we're going to have all of Anderson's troops coming across here in later turns. So next, we'll continue on. We go to the chip pull. So that's all the artillery. Again, very effective artillery for the Confederates, knocking back or depleting Union units. That's going to make it much easier for Barksdale and Wolford to get moving here. So let's see how they do with the chip pull. So the first activation is a USA command chip, which is a firefight. They're going to hold that. And next we get a Fortunes of War, which is going to be a Confederate command chit, which is going to be the Confident chit. So that's not going to get played. That's going to flip and go out there. Next we got McLaws. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to get either Wolford or Barksdale going. We roll a 1. Okay, somebody gets going, and we're going to get Barksdale to activate. So Barksdale's going to get into the attack right away, I believe. Yep, he gets into attack. And they're going to start doing some shooting here first. So first off, we're going to get the 13th Mississippi going after the skirmishers in the orchard. So they're going to be halved for range, and then down 1 to 4 SP. They roll a 46. That's going to be a routine hit. It's going to be a 55. Ooh, that's going to be a depletion and a retreat 2. So that's going to push him out of Sherfy's orchard right there and move them back. Okay. Next, we've got Barksdale's 21st Mississippi. They're going to take a shot at those skirmishers over there. That's the 3rd Maine. And they're going to get 8 halved at -1 for skirmish. So that's going to be 3. Roll a 24. That's going to be a miss. Okay. That's all we've got there. So onward to movement, and first off, we're going to get the 18th Mississippi to move up and push back those skirmishers. They move up for 3 points, and they skirmishers need to move back. Now, I did that because the 18th has been reduced. They could still move next to them and push them back, but I don't want to burn up my stronger units trying to push them back because I do lose movement points. I need to get them up onto the hill, or up onto the Peach Orchard rise. So next, we're coming up with the Mississippians here. 13th Mississippi moves up. And a slight change of orders here. We got the 21st Mississippi moving up. There we go. Then the skirmishers move back again. And then the 13th is going to move up into the center. And then the 17th Mississippi is going to move up over there. So basically, they get control of the southwestern edge of the Peach Orchard as we move into the close assault phase. So first off, here's our close assaults. We're going to start with the 21st Mississippi going after Clark's artillery, reduced artillery. Now the artillery is going to be able to fire at canister range, but they're much reduced due to the artillery fire over here. So they're going to take their shot at the 21st. They're going to be a 3 strength point. Canister range gets a 1.5 modifier, brings them up to 4. But they're in the peach orchard, so it's going to be 3 SPs. They roll a 56. Ooh, that's good. That's going to be, that's a high number, but not high enough, because look at that cohesion on them. The cohesion on them right there is a 5. So that's not high enough to knock them out. So 21st Mississippi is going to go into the attack. And they're attacking the artillery, 8 strength points, plus 2 for 2 to 1 advantage, plus 1 for cohesion. And attacking artillery pushes them up to 23. So that's going to get a 41. That's going to be a severe. Rolls a 1-6, which is going to be depletion, break test, retreat 3, and a panic 1. So first off, the depletion is going to force a break test, and they need to roll a. They'll need to roll a 1 or less. They roll a 6. That eliminates them. So they're out of there. And then the retreat, morale hit and retreat are lost. And then taking a look at the panic, I just noticed the panic, I don't think, yeah, there goes the skirmish, because they've got to move. Yeah, I missed the panic on that, but that's okay. Again, a little bit of my own personal fog of war. So now we move along to the 13th Mississippi attacking New York, 73rd New York. 73rd New York's going to fire back. And they've got a pretty good chance here, because they're going to be firing with a 7, -1 for Orchard, brings them down to a 5. But the 13th Mississippi is a 5 cohesion. They roll a 22, which is going to be a miss. So we go into the close combat here, where there's 10 SP, plus 1 for cohesion, brings them up to 12 to 13. And we roll for that, rolls a 45. It's going to be a routine hit. 33 gets us an RA2. So they're retreating 2 hexes and push back. So they have to go back 1, 2. They have to go 1 more, because otherwise they'll be violating stacking. So they're pushed back towards Trossel Farm. So a good attack here for Barksdale's units, getting some control flags up there as they push in and capture the bulk of the southern half of the peach orchard, as well as the western half. Now they've got to push forward beyond that to try to knock out more of the Union units. But there's a whole bunch of Union units over there that they'll have to drive through. So next we get a CSA command chit, which is Army Northern Virginia Veterans. That's a hold. And then Longstreet comes out. So he's going to try to activate on a 1 to 4. He rolls a 2. He does. So he is actually going to activate. We got to get Wolford going here, because he's a little late. So he's going to activate Wolford to maneuver. And there's nothing the Union can do about it. So they're going to start moving up. So they're going to move up past the Warfield Farm towards the Emmitsburg Road. And they can go up to 6 movement points, but they can't go next to any Union units. But still, there's a lot of terrain, a lot of space that they need to cover. So we're going to get them to maneuver, and that'll get them moving up over here. Okay, so now we've got Wolford up. So now we've got a pretty formidable force going against the northwestern side of the peach orchard with Wolford. And that was with the activation by Longstreet. So that means Wolford still has an activation potentially later on. Oh, the Rebel Yell chit comes out. So this one's an interesting one, because this allows us to pick any unit and do a close assault. We are actually going to play this on the 13th Mississippi, try to go after those guns of Ames and the 68th Pennsylvania, just below the edge, to try to push them away. So they will get to defensive fire. You can see there's the modifiers there, winds up on the 8-9. They roll a 66. That is a very good roll for the Union. So that is going to be a routine hit on them, though, because they're a 5. So there's still a chance that they'll miss, but they don't, They roll a 65. Oh, heavy damage on the 13th Mississippi here, because they will take a depletion and have to retreat two hexes. They retreat back over to there. So that rebel charge failed miserably, and the Union held out. That's kind of the first nice thing that the Union has had per this turn. So moving along here, Rebel Yell's been played. Next is the Fog of War. We roll a 4. This is going to be Wayward CSA movement. So the Union is going to actually move up Barksdale over here, because there's a chance that Graham will activate again. They can take a shot at them to try to knock them out there too, because he's a little bit worse cohesion on there. So we'll see. Next we get pull McLaws again. So now this is going to be potential activation of Wolford. Rolls a 4, he does activate. So now he's going to go into attack, and he's going to try to go after that northern edge of the peach orchard. So first off, they're going to take some shots here. They're going to take a shot at Graham over here on 2 SPs. Roll a 44, it's a routine. Rolls a 1-3, which is a retreat 1. So 57th Pennsylvania moves back. And now they're going to target, that was Phillips Legion shooting over there. Now we're going to go after, with the sharpshooters down here, the 3rd sharpshooters. They have a little bit more punching power at a distance. They're going to try to go after Burling over here. They're going to be 2 SPs. Well, a 26, which is a miss. All right, so now we see the units moving up for their close combat because they're in attack mode. Move Graham out of the way. These chits here, just a way of games. These are not anything playable as units. These are just the brigade commanders' chits to know who's been activated and who's not. I like to put them nearby the units. So Graham, I try to keep them right around there. But when units get in there and the combat's moving in that direction, we will move them. Okay, so now we've got our close combats coming forward. You can see they're totally engaged over here with all the Georgians, plus the legions and the sharpshooters. So first attack is going to be over here with the Pennsylvanians, 114th and 105th. And they look in very tough position over here. But let's see if they can bounce somebody back. They're going to target the 16th Georgia with their defensive fire. So they are going to be 7 SPs. They roll a 44, which is a routine. And then a 64, which is, depletion and a retreat 1. So that means that they're going to be pushed back. So they're going to be out of the close combat fight for this one. All right, so next comes the close combat here. We're going to take the 24th Georgia as our lead, and they're going to go in after them, and they're going to be 6 cohesion plus 1, which makes 9 cohesion over there. They roll a 22. Ooh, that's not good, which is a routine. And then they roll a 1-1. This is bad. They're going to take hits on this. Now, one of the things that I overlooked here, and I think I played this later, is you notice I have this Army of Northern Virginia veterans. I could have used this to re-roll this, and 2020 hindsight after I was watching this, I probably should have. I do use this a little bit later, but it's a 2020 hindsight with the whole thing. So they don't use it, and they're going to take a AD and a morale hit, attacker morale hit as well. So they're kind of stuck there. I should have probably re-rolled the whole thing, but you'll see later. So next, we're moving along to the attack on the 5th New Jersey by the 2 legions. And 5th New Jersey takes a shot at 3 SPs, but misses. And then they do their attack. It's going to be on the 12th at 13. Rolls a 36, which is a tough. And a 26 result is a BT, a retreat 3, and a panic 2. So first off, we're going to do the BT. And they roll a 2, and he goes on the broken track 2 because he was down on the 0 column because he is unsupported. There's no buddies of his right around there. It has to be another Burling unit to be supported. So he goes on the broken track. So that negates the retreat, but there's still a panic 2, which means 2 units selected by the Confederate are going to panic. So you can see there's one there, Carr. He's got to take a morale hit, retreat 3. And then we're going to take Graham and do the same thing and retreat 3. Okay, and then they move up, and we'll move the Graham unit back there. So Wolford has pushed into the northern side. For the most part, had success, except for this little bump right here at the Sherfy farm. We're going to have a little fight in there, I think, and kind of go from there. Next hit is Bernie. So now we get some Union units trying to activate. He rolls a 3, so he fails. And he's going to activate Ward, I believe, up here. No, he's going to activate Graham. Sorry, he's going to activate Graham to do limited fire. Now, the reason why I selected Graham is because he is so close to many units. He could take some shots on here and potentially do some damage. Those 2 units can shoot. This unit can shoot over here. This unit can shoot over here as well and try to do some damage. So let's see what we can do. So first off, we're going to get those 2 units shooting at Wolford's units. There are 7 in the orchard. Rolls a 23. It's a miss. All right. Now the 63rd Pennsylvania shooting at Cobb's Legion. There are 2, but they're in skirmish, so that's going to be -1. And they miss. And now we'll try with the 68th Pennsylvania at 13th or 17th Mississippi. 6 minus 1 is 5 for the orchard. Ooh, 65. That's a hit. And then they roll a 52, which is going to be a tough hit. And this is where I use the Army of Northern Virginia vets to re-roll the depletion roll. So he rolls a 3. So it's just it's still a D, but and an R1. So they retreat and they get the R1 back there. Okay, so Union doing some damage here over on the east side of the peach orchard and pushing back some of the Confederates, Barksdale's units, and holding them off there. So next we come up with Humphreys, part of the 2nd Division. He does activate somebody, so he's going to activate Brewster. Brewster's going to be attacking. Now, where's Brewster? Brewster is all over the place here. You can see mainly here's Brewster here, right across here. These are all his units over there. He's going to try to counterattack to push them back. So you can see they move up because there's no firing. They wasn't next to anybody, so they go straight into their movement. You can see they're coming in to attack. Now, he can't because he's in skirmish mode, so he's going to come out here in a minute. But these other units are moving up to attack. He comes out and he moves up like so. And now they can all attack or counterattack in there. Now, do have that one Brewster back there, but he didn't move up. Just these guys did. And first off, we're going to go over here with the 70th New York and the 120th New York going against Phillips Legion. Phillips Legion gets a shot back, and they're going to shoot at the 70th New York with 5.5 plus 2. Now, how do I get that? Well, he's 5 for his base here, and then these guys can support a fire, which is going to be half their strength points to make 2. Add those together, make 7. So, roll a dice. 62. Ooh, that's going to be a tough hit. And they roll a 1-5, which is a morale hit, retreat 2, and a panic 1. So he gets a morale hit, retreats 2, and 1 unit is going to panic. And Brewster, they select the other Brewster to panic to cancel out that attack, and he's got to retreat 2. So the Confederates successfully knock back that counterattack by the Union. Now, the second one over here, 71st New York and 72nd New York, are going up against the 17th Mississippi, who's been reduced already. So this could be difficult for the Confederates. Now, they're going to fire, and we're also getting the 16th Georgia into the act. They're going to be supportive fire, so that's going to be reduced to 3. And this is going to be 5 plus 1.5, which makes 6, rounded down. Roll a 2-5. That's going to be a miss. So now here comes the attack. It's going to be on the 6th, pulling the 72nd New York as the lead unit. 2-to-1 odds. And they've got the same cohesion here, so it basically just goes up 2 from this to the 10-12, and they roll 1-2. Ooh, that's not good. That's a close fight. They roll 43, which is going to be attacker morale hit. So the 72nd New York takes a morale hit, and the Mississippians successfully hold off Brewster's counterattack. Okay. So now, continuing on with the next chit, Union gets a rally chit. They're going to play that. That's a good one for them. They're going to get Brewster to remove right here. Brewster to remove his morale hits and get back to normal. Next one is going to be Confederate chit, which is double time, which is going to be a hold for now. That allows them to get a little bit more movement if needed, but I don't think we're going to need it. Next one comes out is good ground. That's one that can be placed on any unit in the open, and we're going to put that right there on those guys on the Sherfy farm to get them a little bit of bonus in case the Confederates decide to attack some more. Next one's Humphreys, rolls a 5 and fails for his activation. So that's going to be Carr has a limited activation. He's going to take a shot with 16th Massachusetts firing at Phillips Legion. It's a little long range shot, so it's going to be halved down to 2. Rolls a 46. It's a miss. All right. Next, we've got Hancock. Now, one thing I forgot to mention in my first video. In the play there, I didn't capture it, but in the play, when the Fortunes of War came out, we got a Union general casualty. And guess who took the hit? Yeah, that's right. Sickles took the hit. First turn, right away. He's out of here. In comes Hancock, which is not a bad thing for the Union because Hancock has a better activation rating and a good chance of activating. He's got a 1-4, where Sickles has a 1-2. He rolls a 3, and he activates. So he's going to get Brewster back into the attack again, and we're going to try to get these units up and attack some more. So first off, we're going to get some shooting. Or maybe not. I thought I had some shooting there, but I guess not. I should have shot over there because I've got Barksdale sitting right here. Completely missed that one. Oh well, again, personal fog of war. But we're going to move right up into the attack. Or maybe I backed that up. I backed that up over here and did this correctly. We're going to get some shooting over here first. 5 strength points. That's a miss. And then these guys over here are going to get 5 again at them. And that's going to be a routine. And, oh, that's a hit. It's a D and an R1. So there's going to be break test of 3 or less. Oh, he breaks. So he goes on the broken track and is off. So the Union does get in there and breaks this up. So now here comes Brewster again. Pushing forward, trying to get Phillips Legion and trying to retake that ground across the Emmitsburg Road. So now they're going to attack like that, and they've got a flanking if it holds. We will see here. Wilford, Phillips Legion here is going to try to shoot. They're going to shoot at the 70th New York. He has 5 as strength points. He's a 40, rolls a 41, routine hit. 52, it's a depletion, and retreats 1. So we lost the flanking bonus there, but we still have a decent attack with 12 strength points to 5. So we're going to start on the 7. We're going to use the 73rd New York as the lead unit. Plus 2 to 2-1 brings us up to 10 to 11. Roll a 62. Ooh, that's a big hit. That's a tough hit. Another 62, which is a D and an RA2. So Phillips Legion is depleted and retreats 2. So Brewster is successfully pushed back, and now Cobb's Legion is surrounded. Well, not quite surrounded, but close. And it's going to have to be careful what happens there as the Union retakes the parts of the Emmitsburg Road. Okay, so now we're going to try to have these guys up here, these New Yorkers, I think that's the 72nd New York, try to attack Wolford fires at them and misses with 3 strength points. Now the attack comes in here. It's going to be 6 minus 1. It should actually be 5 because they've got a shaken marker on them. And yeah, 10 to 11 with a +2, but it's going to be up to 8, down 1. So it should actually be on the 6. Rolls a 33, which is a routine. Still think it would be a routine. And a 31, which is an RA1. So he moves back 1, which is not a bad thing because he's not in a good position given he's depleted. All right, so Brewster's second attack has kind of pushed back Wolford a little bit as they become tired and retaken part of the peach orchard here as the battle goes on. Now Bernie's division activates, and that's going to get Ward as a limited activation. They're going to do some firing with the skirmishers out here. Some of Breeden's sharpshooters taking a shot at Wolford, and their shot misses. And then we move along here. USA Command Command Confusion, that's a hold. And then continuing on here, we've got oh, I see. They played a firefight. I gotcha. Sorry, getting a little ahead of myself here, and I missed the play of the firefight chit. So they're playing a firefight right here with these guys. We'll see what happens. They're going to be 5 firing into Orchard, makes 4 SPs. They roll a 1-4. It's a miss. Confederates fire. It's not a close fight. It's actually a miss. Confederates fire back. They get a... Oops, what did I do here? They get a miss as well. Or they get a hit. Sorry, I just put in the wrong notation there. And they get a hit and they retreat. Take a morale hit and retreat 1 off of there. So the firefight didn't really work out for the Union at that turn. Next one's Humphreys. Humphreys rolls a 1, and he's going to get Burling to defend. What that's going to do is allow him to move back and him to move up and remove one of the shaken markers on there. So that's good. A little better positioning and restructuring, recovering from morale. So now he recovers morale. There we go. So that's it for the chits. Yeah, the cup's empty. So we just play out the rest of the chips, which held chits, which have nothing to do this turn, and so we just move the turn counters and wind up at the end of the turn. So here we are at the end of the turn. Let's get a few of these things off here. I'll do a little bit of recap and go from there. So what's happened here is Barksdale's moved up. He originally cleared most of the peach orchard, but Brewster counterattacked and took back a little bit of it. Wolford has attacked, pushed up the Emmitsburg Road. Again, other units of Brewster pushed back on here, as well as Graham, 105th Pennsylvania, 114th Pennsylvania, are holding the Sherfy House from Wolford's units. Beat them up here a little bit and has reestablished their line, but still kind of weak. We definitely have Barksdale's 21st Mississippi up here, who's in a key position to hold out, as well as we do have the Confederate artillery, which has been on fire these first couple of turns, and have placed their shells and shot and shells right into the Union units and really have broken them up. Will they do it for the next turn, the 620 turn? We'll have to see on that one. But for now, that's where they are. We're going to have Wilcox coming forward here in the next turn as well. So that's going to get interesting to the northern part of the Emmitsburg Road as they try to go for the Rogers and the Klingel farms over here and try to push on through Carr and beyond. From the Union perspective, a lot of damage, a lot of units on the battle-worn side, a lot of morale hits. They've recovered some, but there's still quite a bit to go in there, and they've lost some artillery. If we look at our broken track over here, you can see we've got Clark's artillery on here. We've got 1 Burling, 5th New Jersey on here as well. We've got, actually, that should be flipped over like that. We've also got Barksdale, 17th Mississippi, that needs to be covered over here as well. So it's a pretty hot fight here up on the Peach Orchard at this particular point in time. Once again, this has been the 6 p.m. turn, and look forward to the 6:20 turn, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. Love to see them, and hopefully see another one very soon. Thanks for watching.